We are watching New York City just ban homeless people from the subway. I banish you!
Sidewalks of Herald Square. Homeless outreach workers are pleading with a man with bare feet. Others approach another man who refuses to move.
This breaks my heart right here.
Mayor Adams is determined to change.
So every winter when temperatures drop, the subway sadly turns into a place of refuge for New York City's homeless. And while
Dude, if the government actually did something, like what the are we talking about, bro? Hello?
The city has plans to relocate unhoused individuals out of America's largest public transit network. Activists say the homeless have a right to use the subway how they see fit since it's open to the public. But as it turns out, the mayor has plans to change that.
We are getting a better idea of the progress being made under the Adams administration's controversial overnight homeless outreach program.
This is a picture perfect.
New York City really said homeless. Dude, I think everybody says the homeless till it's them. Everybody's like, yeah, no, get rid of them till like it's them. You feel me? I'm no activist and shit, but I think we need something in place. You know what I mean? Like what the obviously if we have a whole lot of homeless people in the subway during winter, maybe that's kind of telling. You know, it's like, hey, hello.
Example of why we should not be saying he has a right to be out.
Now I'm gonna say this though, that motherfucker run up on me with that ass shirt on his back might have a problem. You see what I'm saying? Like everybody's cool with it. Everybody's like homeless people. Kenji, you tell, yeah, what? Say something, chatter. I'll hit you. If that was me and I got crust on the back of my shirt, you telling me gonna be mink mock mook. I'm gonna wipe my ass and smack it on your lip if you don't give me $1. You don't up. I'm holding you hostage. Your lip is now mine.
Doesn't know he needs help.
On a crowded subway station, you've got half the subway cars taking up people who are sleeping. They're not committing a crime per se here, but this is a symptom of a larger problem.
Yeah, for sure.
Sad-looking storefronts here underground where you could once
like, what do you do, man?
Slice.
How do you solve homelessness? Shelters and stuff? A lot of people don't even want to be in shelters, to be honest with you. You know what I mean?
Or a newspaper or a coffee. Of 195 retail spaces in the subway system, only 52 of them are open for business. A vacancy rate of nearly 75%.
I have 2 young boys. They're 9 and 13. I don't want my boys walking around that. I don't feel they're safe when we see that.
It's about, to be fair, I feel like a lot of people have mental health issues. When you're homeless, you might turn to some and you doing crazy on the motherfucking street. You're saying what? But brother, it's a real thing. You know what I mean? Like I seen 2 motherfuckers fighting, scrapping with a naked homeless person, dog. It just happens. You know what I mean? You got homeless people taking showers at the bus stop, butt booty naked, titties out with a water bottle. It just be happening, bro. You feel me? And like walking in the middle of the street, talking to themselves. It's like a mental health crisis, low key, bro. You feel me? It's not cool. And then they gonna lash out. They might do some crazy. It's not safe for anyone.
Our responsibility to help people who are in desperate need, but just can't recognize it themselves. And there's nothing respectful about leaving somebody to rot.
Kind of messed up.
Some are starting to say the subway is turning into an underground wasteland. And we're going to investigate this wasteland to see how bad it really is. But what nobody wants to admit is that you could drastically decrease the number of people living down here if you do more to help them live somewhere else.
I like this guy. He's going to give a solution.
Our subway is actually a mess of New York City's own making, with crime and lawlessness so out of control down here. There is still a force of National Guard troops deployed throughout the system, monitoring it for dangerous activity.
Imagine having that job, bro. You're just sitting in a fucking subway all day. Hey, make sure you don't hop over that or I'll really do it to you.
With thousands of extra police, and city leaders know that the second they pull out, the criminals are just going to come right back. But you know something? Lawlessness doesn't stop at physical crimes like robbery and assault, which still take place down here because troops aren't riding the trains. The lawlessness down here also includes fare evasion, which
no one's paying for that.
Costs the city roughly $700 million a year in financial losses. And shockingly, the MTA arrests.
What are you gonna do with that money? They don't even clean the goddamn trains. Like, what are we talking about? Dirty ass subways.
Beaters, they tend to have active warrants. On top of that, a high-profile court case involving Jordan Neely, a homeless street performer with 42 prior arrests, has city officials admitting more people could unknowingly be putting themselves and others in harm's way. And that brings us to the real reason why the city is now taking drastic steps to move people who are homeless and living in the subway out of it. It puts people with mental health issues at risk. And it's not fair for a city that spends as much money as New York York does every year not to do more to help people who think this is the only place they have to stay. And with the city set to activate its controversial congestion pricing scheme, which will tax drivers who refuse to.
Kenji, for 4 years, I commuted into New York City. Most of them just want to be warm, but they worry about the ones that lash out, but would rather move them somewhere else than actually tackle the problem. Yeah, because no one really cares. You know what I mean? Like, no one genuinely actually cares. You see what I'm saying? Think about it, okay? Do you care about that problem behind that iPhone? No, you're using it. You know what I mean? It's not in front of you. You don't give a
use the subway. The powers that be have decided that if they're going to punish everyone who doesn't use,
like, you'd rather sweep it up. It's like having a messy room and you just throw everything under the bed. You just sweep it under the rug. You know what I mean? And like, you just feel better about it. Like, people don't care, especially people in power. Like, they won't give a
public transit networks. They better not do it while also punishing the homeless by neglecting them. But as you're about to see, the city's efforts to help people move out of this place aren't exactly going as planned.
But then I'm insensitive. No, that's fine. Like, listen, I'm not trying to be like insensitive, like, oh, homeless people, whatever. But what I'm saying is people don't give a. That's like a natural consensus. No one really gives a. You know what I mean? And then you can act like you give a, but like, do you really? I feel like you would be over there feeding the homeless, doing for the homeless, and starting fundraisers, foundations. You could do a lot instead of just like, oh, that's so bad. Like, you don't really give a. You know what I mean? You don't care. That looks crazy. Look at that.
So here we are at the 34th Street Herald Square subway terminal, which is quite large.
I care about homeless people. I don't care about people in general, if I'm being honest with you, dude. No, I'm just that's too much. That's too much. But brother, like, when I used to go to church religiously, and brother, we would feed the homeless every Sunday, like, or Saturday. We'd be out there, bro, doing. You know what I mean? Like, we be doing it. It kind of opens your perspective. You feel me? But at the same time, an average person is not gonna give. They just want to get on a train, get off, go home. That's it. You know what I mean? And when they have some homeless person on there and like, maybe they're tweaking the out, they're gonna be mad at it, to be honest with you. Like, they don't give a
has become a visual display of the humanitarian crisis taking place beneath the streets of New York City. In fact,
I don't even think that dude's homeless. That motherfucker got fours on his feet. I think they just filmed someone just messing with his wires, bro. That motherfucker just waiting for someone. He got fours on. He got Gallery Depot on, bro. What the? Yo, get the camera off of him.
This particular area where we're standing right now with this green backdrop here, this used to be the entrance to a mall which has become abandoned, and it's a place where people have been sleeping in the evenings. At least that was what was going on down here until the city decided to take steps to stop that from happening. Steps which many say are extremely controversial. At the same time, look at this place. It's loud, it's bright, there's dripping water, there's trash all over the place. This is not where somebody should be trying to live on a full-time basis. That's for sure. And city officials are defending their new plans as being necessary to help those who may not be able to help themselves.
Governor Kathy Hochul said today that Jordan Neely should have been removed from the subway. She is promising a new series of policies to address the state's mental health crisis.
What are the policies?
That will come as welcome news to those in need and to the boots on the ground, the police officers and social.
So here you have a group of police and outreach workers who invited the press to come with them to this very same subway terminal while they went about.
Someone said, Kenji, you're basically paying $5 round trip to be placed in the Hunger Games in a New York City subway system. That's so dude,
contacting, that's what they call it when they interact with people who might appear to be unhoused. And the New York Post, who tagged along, says that 96 individuals were found to be sleeping in this one terminal. And there's an extremely high likelihood that if this investigation had taken place in more places than just this, that the sad state of affairs down here would be even more obvious. Furthermore, this tag-along only included a stroll through this terminal. They didn't ride the trains, where there are many people who sadly are calling that their temporary home. And although the total number of homeless living in the subway is unknown, this article estimates
the government will never help homeless because it doesn't serve the rich officials in charge to actually help them. It's about keeping them off the streets for the sake of reputation. No, for sure. Dude, think about it like this. Do you think the government cares about regular people? Like, just any citizen, let alone homeless citizens, bro? They don't give a about any of that, bro. They are so self-serving. No one gives a.
It could be as high as 4,100 people. And there could be more people living down here in the subway than in some small towns in America, which is shocking. However, what's even more shocking is that the city's efforts to help move people from here to an actual, which has been set aside for them to stay, haven't exactly been
better
working.
start carrying then.
Nurses and social workers are teaming up with New York City police officers. Part of the mayor's latest initiative to offer shelter and services to the homeless.
Dude, Florida,
and to involuntarily commit
Florida gets like a lot of all the time, you know what I mean, for crazy stuff happening. Bro, New York is different.
those with severe mental illness who refuse treatment.
So this is the part where things get controversial. Every night you've got these outreach teams that scour the subway looking for folks who might be down here and might not have anywhere else to go. And their goal is to help them go somewhere better than this. And the way this is done is by approaching an individual who might be sleeping or lounging about the platform and asking them if they need assistance, which activists say constitutes harassment, while ignoring the inhumanity of letting people think this dangerous environment is the only place they've got to stay. However, the New York Post says of the 96 people who were contacted and asked if they needed assistance, only 16 agreed to accept. Yet the city does have the authority to involuntarily commit people who could be a danger to themselves and others, something the governor says could have saved Jordan Neely, who was part of an altercation in the subway, which made...
Neely had suffered from schizophrenia and had been menacing passengers before Penny took him down, trial evidence showed. Yeah, bro, I feel like it's a mental health issue for sure. Like, this is so deep, man. Like, I am not qualified to talk about none of this. I'm a fucking idiot, dude.
Part of an altercation in the subway, which made national headlines.
The danger to themselves is crazy accusation. No one cares. Yeah, they don't really care. Like, oh my God, it's a danger to everybody else. Like, no, bro. You're on a subway, someone gonna come with you, don't have a problem with it.
Sadly, the governor makes a good point. If you've got people living in the subway who are not in the right frame of mind to take care of themselves and nothing is done, those people are at risk.
More than 5,000 have been approached in the past 3 months, and roughly 1/3 have accepted care, including treatment. The critics say that he should have a right to be in a public subway system on a public street, and he shouldn't be harassed by the city or by the police.
And the critics are so far removed from what everyday New Yorkers want.
Just this morning.
So this report says 5,000 people have been approached by these...
Why did you decide to watch this video? I was just kind of curious.
...outreach teams with better results than were witnessed in this very same terminal. And Mayor Adams has had some incredibly harsh words for progressive critics. Say people should be allowed to live in the subway full time with no intervention because it's a public place. He says not only is doing something like that inhumane, it is the opposite of what New Yorkers, average New Yorkers, are actually in favor of. Because average New Yorkers know how much money they are paying in
New Yorkers
taxes
don't go
on the subway, and they want to
like, yo,
ride
get the
it.
off the subway. Yo, do it off the track, man. You how work, B. The off the track, B. You ever see that, bro? Someone was on the tracks trying to kill himself. It's like, yo, what the?
They're either able to, or there's no room seat because.
But to be fair, I feel like New Yorkers are real, bro. They'll say what everybody's thinking. If we're being honest, bro. Man, y'all motherfuckers sit on the other side of the stream like, oh my God, no, that's so rude. They don't give a. You know what I mean? Because if you were in the same spot, you would be feeling the same exact way, bro.
Someone happens to be living there, they say to themselves, where is this money going?
They're honest. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Of people
I don't know if we have New Yorkers watching, but shout out to y'all, bro.
2025 is a local election year here in the city, which some say has a lot to do with why new steps are being taken to change how things have been getting done around here. Because every single time people see a person with nowhere else to go, sleeping in the subway or on a bus, it looks to them like there is a lack of leadership on this issue. At the same time, the mayor and the police commissioners say that they're fighting an uphill battle. City laws only allow them to do so much to help people who might be in a vulnerable, bad situation, and they want state laws to be passed to enable them to do more.
What do you even do, man?
The specific thing they're looking at doing is codifying what is called involuntary removal.
This is a guy, he's got a Skittles box on his head.
This is a picture perfect.
Skittle box and things, dog. Like, come on, bro. Chat, you telling me you paying for a service to just get to one place to another and you gotta deal with that? That just sounds crazy, bro. Let's be so honest. Like, there has to be something done about it, but like, what do? You feel me? It's kind of up.
Example of why we should not be saying he has a right to be out there. He doesn't know he needs help. We have to give him that.
Now, progressive policies say that it would be wrong to intervene in a man's life when he is spiraling out of control, because doing so would take away his right to self-determination and the pursuit of happiness.
Well, what about my fucking right to fucking go on the subway, mother, and not be bothered by someone with a thing in a Skittle bag on their head. What the
he sees fit. And for a long time, various leaders of New York have treated the subway as just another public space and have made people feel bad about their desire to see people who are there and are obviously in distress helped in some way. Something that would also make America's largest public transit network safer and more usable for those who pay to use it. On top of that, a public transit network is not...
He got that on, stains and all. Shut up.
Not designed as a living quarters for anybody. And at present, state lawmakers are considering the Supportive Interventions Act, which would say that a person in need of medical or psychiatric care can be forcibly removed from the streets. But the only terrifying thing about this is it would be the government who determines who needs a psychiatric evaluation, and that's not going to sit right with everybody. And in the future, what if an act like that is abused? However, proponents of these ideas say that current laws and policies, which do allow for involuntary commitment, don't give the police the tools they need to help those who are now in distress.
Kenji, you live in New York?
Also may not
only
have
for a few months, man. But like,
the agency to understand the effect their choices have on their very lives. However, as you're about to see, there's another cost associated with allowing the subway to be run in this manner. And if the city doesn't do something about it soon, things down here might get even worse.
What are you gonna do, bro? Like, what do you do?
So behind me, we've got a small business. There's a vending machine around the corner here, a couple of ATMs. There are signs of life down here that kind of bring the subway back almost 20 years ago when you used to have all kinds of stores and shops in this environment. A lot of those, however, have not been able to make it. And really, it should be no surprise why a business might find it tough to operate in a high crime environment. That is a
Someone said small business waiting to get robbed. I mean, dude.
Humanitarian disaster that the city is not tending to.
Sad looking storefronts here underground where you could once grab a slice or a newspaper or a coffee.
Like, who would want to grab a slice of pizza when you got a homeless motherfucker right there with a stain and a bag of Skittles on his head? You feel me? Like, dude, I'm not even hungry anymore. Thank you. I'll wait till I get home.
Of 195 retail spaces in the subway system, only 52 of them are open for business. A vacant...
Hold on. Let me play this dono. I'm a New Yorker. I've done yelled at homeless that cause they got me up and making me late around, and another thing when they be laying on the floor in a packed subway, be getting so tight. And nah, it's upsetting, bro. I don't know how to put my words together to make it sound good, but bitch, all I know is if I'm in a fucking subway, I got somewhere to be. Get the fuck out my way, dude.
Rate of nearly 75%.
I don't give what to do. You can shit in the fucking corner. You can shit on a bench behind me, but get the fuck out my way.
Apparently, you've got hundreds of empty kiosks like the one behind me, which makes sense. This is not a great environment to do anything. It's not even a great environment to get on the train, let alone spend money. At least they've gotten around to reopening some of the bathrooms that have been closed for the last 4 years. That's a good start. And with the high levels of crime and the constant militarization of this environment, it's hard to think of who wants to have lunch in a place like this or buy something.
Motherfucker is touching the... This is like insane right there. That right there, chat? Oh, I would never shake hands with a New Yorker if they touching it like that, bro. What the are we talking about?
Expensive. But it's not just this incredibly
a homeless person probably grabbed that pole, Spider-Man it, and rubbed his ass on it, dude. You don't even know.
Dilapidated station, which is having these types of retail problems. No, in fact, even one of the nicest subway terminals in the entire system, which is located down on Fulton Street, has a similar problem. That facility cost over $1 billion to build. It's designed as both a mall and a transit hub, yet the mall portion is entirely empty. All of the stores are closed, and the mall giant Westfield that was leasing it from the city is in the process of canceling and breaking their lease because they say the city hasn't maintained a crime-free, safe environment to try and lease out stores. And that makes
it's kind of up, bro. I don't know what you do in this situation. Do you make like public housing, like shelters? What the do you do? Like, what's the next best thing to do to keep the homeless out of the subway system? I don't know, man. That's tough. The shelters are horrible too, though. Oh, for sure, because they don't give a
sense. Anybody who spends more than 5 minutes down here understands how quickly they need to get out of here and move on with their day. And certainly,
I read it because they kept on typing that. Honestly insane, bro. You look at other countries, motherfuckers got bullet trains. It's always quiet. It's clean. It's nice. Like, what are we doing that's wrong? You know what I mean? As like the US of A, like, what the f are we doing? I'm so serious. Like, what are we doing? Does anyone have like an answer? Like, what's going on? Is it just like the whole system? Like, what are we just like in a third world country? Like, what
going to pull out their wallet or purse to buy something expensive
Probably a
if
bunch
they
of
think
stuff.
something bad might happen to them while they're doing that. But to make matters worse, even the police commissioner has mentioned that she has safety issues with this place as well and doesn't think it's safe enough for her family.
I have 2 young boys. They're 9 and 13. I don't want my boys walking around that. I don't feel they're safe.
Stop tolerating them in public places. That's all. You say that now, but like, what if it's you, right? Like, what if you're homeless one day, you're down and out, you're up, and it ends up being you, right? Imagine rent keeps on going up and up and up. You end up being homeless, then what? You know what I mean? But like, let's say it's not even you. Where do you put the homeless people? Are you just gonna throw them in jail? You know what I mean? Like, where do you go from there? I mean, what crime is that? Just being homeless, down and out? I feel like it's very nuanced, bro. I mean, you could just do one thing, just say, get them out of the area, lock them all up, get no more homeless. You know what I mean? But like, it's still just like sweeping it under the rug. You're not really dealing with the problem, right?
We see that, so that's what this program is designed to do.
Brian Stent is the deputy.
Okay, if this subway is not safe enough for the police commissioner, I'm not sure who it's safe enough for. Yet it's welcome news to many that the city finally seems to be doing something down here about this environment.
If homeless can't be in public, where can they go? Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're just like, oh, throw them in jail. Like, I don't know. That doesn't sound right either.
To make it safer for everybody, including those who are in need. And you know, I don't think any of us want to hear at this point that they don't have the money to go about doing this because they're wasting millions on all kinds of bizarre things, like a study to examine the psychology of those who don't want to pay to use this place. And speaking of losing money, this article says that the subway itself is losing $800 million a year, which is higher than prior estimates, to people who evade the fare. Oddly, that number...
Treating people in need as disposable things. Whoever mentioned... I don't give a shit. I'm not running for no goddamn governor or senator. I don't go... All I'm saying is if I'm going to get a fucking slice of pizza, I'm on a motherfucking train, I got some homeless motherfucker near me, I'm being the biggest Karen. Get that thug off this motherfucking train! I don't go... Kenji, no, suck my... I don't go... What you talking about, bro? Eat my ass, dog. Like, bro, I go get a fucking haircut downtown, I gotta deal with a bunch of bull. Like, you know. I deal with it in LA. I can't stand that. Boo.
Is just $200 million less than the $1 billion their congestion pricing scheme, which is going to tax cars, needs to generate by law to even be in place in the first place. And what this essentially means is that if you have a car, you will now be subsidizing crime and lawlessness down here in the subway itself. What a beautiful system.
5,600 people made contact, 1,700 were placed. Is the discrepancy there people who didn't want help, or are there not spaces for them?
No, there are spaces for them, in fact. And, you know, people do have a right to say no. The mayor says they don't have a right to be sleeping in the subway system. So what they do is they just move on. They get out.
So apparently the city does have facilities that are set up for folks who might be down here and think that this is the only place they can stay. But apparently those facilities remain empty because a lot of the people down here don't want to use them, which brings us back to the start of this video where folks like the mayor are saying that interventions need to be allowed because people aren't taking the helping hand that is being offered to them. And of course, this once again raises debate over what's humane, what's not humane. Should people who have nowhere else to go or can't get to one of these welfare centers really be treated in a manner that forces them to move along? Or is it possible that the city's care facilities are so unsafe and so dangerous that many folks are better off not using them?
It's also a real bad drug problem, and 100 times out of 10 those are ones that be bugging out the mentally ill. Homeless is minimal in my opinion.
Really, you think the mentally ill? Bro, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like it overlaps low-key. Like, again, I saw 2 people fighting a homeless dude. I seen a butt booty naked, washing her titties with a bottle of water, tweaking out, yelling at the police. Like, I've seen some shit in LA. I can't imagine New York, man. You know what I mean? Obviously, I know, like, not every homeless person is crazy and gonna bite your face off and tweaking out. You know what I mean? Like, dude, watch The Pursuit of Happiness. That is sad as... You know what I mean? A lot of people go homeless, bro, due to unfortunate events. You feel me? That's what I'm saying. Like, it's kind of up. It's kind of scary. The society. That's what I'm saying. I feel like there's something deeper, chat, than just like homelessness. Is it like the cost of living is rising heavy? The lack of health care? The lack of housing? Like, what is it? You see what I'm saying? Like, there has to be some type of something there.
There have definitely been widespread reports that some of these care facilities are not exactly caring and the workers are rather rough on the guests, which makes sense why people might not want to go there either. And the timing of this new effort to help the homeless no longer live in the subway cannot be a coincidence. This humanitarian disaster has been taking place beneath our streets for a long time, and this is the first time anything's being done to help the less fortunate move to a place that might be better suited to them. What do you think about that? Are the city's plans to help the homeless in the subway itself a coincidence? Is this something that they were planning on doing all along? And are they good plans? Is it a good thing to help someone move out of the subway if they...
Once you're down in your luck, it's incredibly hard to get back up. We don't make it easy. Oh, I 100% agree, bro. Because again, if any one of us just end up next day being homeless, boom, on the streets. Like, brother, we can sit here and watch a YouTube video about like, oh, wow, no, just kick them out of the subway system, do whatever the but like, till you're in that position, you really don't know how it is, bro. You feel me? Motherfuckers is treating them less than human just because they're homeless. That's up. I don't know. There's so many.
I truly think this is the only place that there is for them. Let me know what you think about that. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.
It's not fun. Of course it's not fun, dude. What are we talking about? It's terrible. I'm not like a super generous, nice guy. But like when I was downtown LA, I got a haircut. I had like $5 left over. There's homeless people everywhere in LA. Dude pushing a shopping cart. He sits down, chills under a tree. I just walk up to him, give him $5, just say what's up to him. It's just like chill. It's like, it's not like, I'm gonna eat your face off, give me more, what do you have? You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of people are just like, like homeless people are gonna jump scare you like Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, dude, they're people like you, bro. You feel me? Like that could literally be you.